What's up? I got the idea of making this video from other ecom YouTubers. However, I thought it was a funny idea to make. So today I'm going to make a tier list of things that actually will make you money and made me money dropshipping. And so let's get right started. And this one's real. This one's actually something which you can learn something from. I promise you that. All right. The very first thing which I want to cover is creativity, right? And as a marketer, it's very important to understand that you'll have these ideas. You'll have these quick little thoughts that just like come and then go very quickly into your mind, and creativity beats everything. So it's very important to have some journal, to have some iPhone notes, to have a WhatsApp group where you kicked out your brother because you're only there in yourself because you're recording voice messages for yourself, to have a place for all your ideas and your thoughts, because creativity beats everything. Every time that you're unique, that you're thinking, that you're different, that's gonna be able to make you a lot of money. So I'm gonna put this into an A tier because I think this is probably one of the most important things in dropshipping, to be creative. Now, second thing is awareness stages. All right. When it comes to awareness stages, a lot of people ignore this. A lot of people don't even know what this means. And so essentially, to break this down, this just means that like there are different types of customers, and obviously the types of ads that you make will speak to different like awareness stages, different amounts of customers. Obviously, the most the audience with the biggest amount of people, most amount of people, is unaware, right? But they need much more marketing. They need much more work to actually target them. And most aware, on the other hand, is like the low-hanging fruits, the people that would have bought anyways, right? The people where you just run a black screen as an ad and they still buy the product, right? So that's the most aware type of stuff. And scaling is essentially just moving down awareness stages. And if you know this concept, if you're familiar with it, you know that it's a very powerful tool. And it's very good to kind of understand this, because it's very it's just one of the most fundamental basic marketing principles there's out there. And so I highly suggest you definitely start going through this and actually understand this. And so this is also an A tier because I promise you there's going to be cooler stuff coming up. It's not an S tier yet. All right. Third thing is brute forcing your way to success in ecom, or brute forcing, spam testing basically of products that you find on AliExpress or on PP ads to find winning products. All right. And this is a D tier. This is the worst thing ever. This is completely dead. This is what gurus tell you when they say dropshipping is dead, right? They tell you that because they've done this before. It doesn't work anymore. So now they either just sell courses, or now they sell their SMMA coaching program because they said dropshipping is dead. And so this is super important to understand. Dropshipping is not dead, but not only understanding customers is. All right. Not basically just throwing noodles at a wall and seeing what sticks is dead. Very important. Next up, 17-inch arms. This is an S tier, and this is a very recent picture, by the way. And by the way, this is like, the thing is about this, obviously this is a joke, but a lot of gurus on YouTube tell you that being in shape or going to the gym basically doesn't help you when it comes to making money, and that's bullshit in my opinion. I think that's not true. I think that's complete BS, because if you actually have your nutrition and what you eat in place, if you're in shape, if you're feeling well, you don't want to be a loser with money. We want to have it all essentially. And so yes, this does actually help with making you money, because if you do fasting until like 6 p.m. every single day, that allows you to work so much harder. For example, if you have like a place, couple hours at a time of the day where you actually do not work, right? That is so helpful and allows you in the long run to get so much more shit done while feeling good. And being in shape is one of the most important things. All right. And so every time that you hear on YouTube, don't be in shape, it doesn't make you more money, just look at them and see what they look like. All right. Very important. Next up, video editing. And I'm going to actually put this in B tier. And a lot of people might ask themselves now, okay, why? I thought, CapCut, video editing, marketing. However, a lot of people confuse this with marketing. A lot of people think that video editing is marketing, and that's not the case. Video editing and marketing are two very different things. right? And so if you actually want to market properly, you actually need to make, first of all, these customer avatar lists. You need to understand them. Obviously, you need to brainstorm angles and ad concepts and make variations. Video editing is just a vehicle to get there. Video editing just helps you execute once a system like that is already completely laid out and planned and thought through, because video editing itself is nothing to do with marketing. I promise you that. Marketing and video editing, very two different pairs of shoes. All right. Super important to understand. Next thing, Facebook ads. Mark Zuckerberg, S tier, easy S tier, and this because of the simple reason that Facebook ads are extremely consistent. They're fantastic. They're super good. I love them with all my heart, and that's just the best ad platform. That's just the best traffic source always. Not only for ecom, if you're watching this and you're in lead gen for your agency or for your coaching business, Facebook ads are the best way of acquiring new customers and retargeting customers that already know you, that already bought from you. Facebook ads are the way to go. I know there's some shiny objects here with TikTok ads with organic, but Facebook ads ultimately is where most people come from, and it will be what they always will have. So in the long run, if you it doesn't matter if you're doing organic now, if you're doing TikTok ads now, at some point, if you stick to this business more than 6 months, I promise you're going to do Facebook ads. It's as simple as that. I thought myself when I did TikTok ads in the beginning, I'm never going to switch to Facebook, and eventually you're going to give up, right? So Facebook ads is fantastic. You should definitely start running it right now if you don't do it yet. All right. Next thing is actually an iteration process in your creative system. This is the next S tier, right? Because with this system, you basically essentially stop hoping for lucky shots in your creative tests, but you actually start iterating and making ads profitable. And so how does this work? Well, this is super simple. You just look at all the metrics at every single creative test and then focus on the concepts which have proven potential, even if they're not profitable yet, and then look at all the metrics, break down the hook rates, the hold rates, the video views at 25%, 50%, 75%, the CPMs, the cost per click, obviously, and all these metrics. You break them down, the conversion rate too, by the way. You break all these down, and then you make variations. So if you, for example, realize my ad after like 5 minutes, or my ad after like 3 seconds after the hook, there's a huge drop off, but the hook rate is good, then you know your hook performs well, but everything else after that just doesn't. So you need to change out the hook. So these things are all in the metrics and in the numbers. And once you do start iterating in your creatives, basically every product can be a winner, because it's just about the ads, the marketing. If you take the same concept and iterate it 500 times, it will be profitable, whatever bullshit concept that might be. All right. So like this, every product can turn into a winner. Next thing is your ability to sell, sales skills. S tier. All right. Easy S tier. If you don't know how to sell, then you're going to be cooked. I think it's no coincidence whatsoever that people who had prior sales experience before getting into ecom have a significant higher chance of actually making it. I see that with my friends. I see that with students of mine. I see that with myself. People who know how to sell are just like basically guaranteed to make it in any business, especially ecom. What you're doing is selling products to people. You're not drop shipping. Forget the word drop shipping. You are selling real physical products to real physical people. And the better you are at selling in general, at one-on-one sales, the also better you will be at marketing, which is what we're doing now. And so you need to learn how to sell. And you might even step back before starting your ecom project and actually learn how to sell, get a sales job wherever, make some cash, so that you are confidently able to invest in your ecom project, and that's just immediately going to make everything 100 times, a million times easier. So learn how to sell. Next thing, organic. I'm going to actually put this into B tier because it is a very beginner friendly, fairly easy way to start. It's not, the big problem is that like it's nothing which is extremely consistent. And so this is like the same thing if you were to only run TikTok ads, for example. It is a very good strategy and you can go viral again and again and again, but it's nothing which you can predict for tomorrow, the performance. And so there's people out there that are very radical. They're very hard on this. They say if you don't run paid ads 2025, you don't have a business. Now you might argue with that, you might argue against it, but at the end of the day, at some point you're gonna want to switch to paid ads, especially Facebook, Google, that kind of stuff. But it's not bad to start out with organic to actually see how videos are being produced, how good creatives are being made, how to go viral and convert. I don't think it hurts you to have these skills down, because they're also high paying skills. You could even make a lot of money with jobs with those skills. But at the end of the day, if you want to have a long-term business, you're at some point are going to switch to Facebook ads. Just like I said it before with TikTok ads, organic, same thing. All right, you're going to want to switch to Facebook ads at some point. All right, next thing, Google Ads. All right, Google Ads is a classic A tier. Why? Because it's extremely consistent. You won't find anything which is more consistent than Google. However, why is it on S tier? Because it's very hard to scale. It's extremely difficult to scale, and you can't just increase your budgets, especially on campaigns which rely on like traffic, so search campaigns essentially. How are you going to increase the budget on that? It's not about the budget, it's about actually how much volume, search volume is behind those keywords. So for instance, if you actually set if you set up a campaign which the only keyword is your brand name, brand search campaign on Google, very common thing to do, then a lot of people, what they think or what they do is they try to increase the budgets. But obviously that's not going to make you more profitable. It's just going to make you less profitable, because you have to increase your push marketing, your push performance marketing, the top of funnel traffic, to actually have more people to retarget with your Google ads. However, there are campaign types like performance max campaigns and all that kind of stuff that are scalable. It's just very slow to scale. It's nothing which is going to make you a bunch of money in the short term. In the long run, it's going to make you a huge amount of money, especially for retargeting. I love it. It's just a lot of work. It's just a lot of headaches to set up conversion tracking, to set up the ad accounts. It's a lot of headaches if your merchant center gets banned or ad accounts get shut down. It's a lot of headaches. It's combined with a lot of pain because the website is just so shit to use, the Google Ads website. But however, it's a very consistent thing. And if you have a solid top of funnel traffic, then immediately start running Google Ads, even if you're doing organic now. Like a Google ad campaign, especially a brand search, competitor search, impossible that it's unprofitable. All right, if you just click the right conversion goal, if you have conversion tracking set up with your Google Tag Manager, you're not going to do anything wrong. All right, so this is just a headache to set up. It's not really fast, it's just extremely consistent. So this is why Google Ads is an A tier. All right, let's keep going. Interest targeting on Facebook. Now this is unfortunately a C or D. I would put it in a D tier, honestly, because nowadays I only run broad campaigns. So if you, again, like this is a different example. If you run lead gen ads for your high ticket stuff, then yes, you might put some interest in here. However, if you run e-com stores, then all of the campaigns that you're going to run, even when you scale, are going to be broad. Like realistically, there's no point in testing interest. There's no point in trying to be smarter than the algorithm. The algorithms are so good, so quick, and all the magic basically happens on the creatives. If you have good creatives, if you actually call out your target audience, then you don't need any interest, and it won't make a difference. It's just going to increase your CPMs, and it's just going to increase the chances of you selecting the wrong interest. And the interest that you select is not interested in your offer, in your ad, in your product. So what's going to happen is you just limit yourself. You just limit yourself and make your life harder if you select interest, if you run ads for e-com stores, for e-com brands on Facebook, especially on TikTok ads too. But even we're moving there, that even on Google ads, you won't need any targeting. All right. Obviously in a search campaign, there is no targeting, but I'm just saying, like, for example, if you run a performance max with or a shopping campaign, it's still going to be in the future less interest. On Google, it's going to be more keywords. On Facebook, it's just completely broad. All right, and 99 out of 100 ad accounts run completely broad campaigns, and that's just the future. Just kind of don't want to limit yourself. You don't want to decrease your audience size. You don't want to be smarter than Facebook, because this guy on the top here is pretty smart already. All right, next thing is energy drinks. All right, this is easily an S tier. I don't think there's one thing which made me more money in my ecom journey than being addicted to caffeine. It's the best thing ever. Anyone who says it harms you hasn't just really tried it enough. All right, it's just the best thing ever. Just get addicted to it as much as possible. I don't think it's a coincidence that people actually people like Tate and these kinds of people are super addicted to caffeine. Everyone tells you to drink as much coffee as possible. Energy drinks are just the tastier version. All right, PayPal. PayPal is a C tier. Why? Because PayPal is just it can get you into a lot of headaches and a lot of problems. And generally, if you don't specifically run ads to EU countries, then you won't need it on your store. Only if you, like me, for example, run to Germany, to Austria, to Netherlands, to just European countries, you will need it. Unfortunately, it's kind of a pain in the ass if you do get headaches with them. If you do get the problems, if they are holding your money, if they are blocking your accounts, there are ways around it. You can warm up accounts. You can get around the blocks. There are ways to just basically unlock the money that they hold. It's just a super long, annoying, just a long process, and it's just annoying to set up. And but once you have your systems in place, I would say it's a pretty cool thing. However, it's just a C tier because you don't need it if you're running ads to the US. Like 5% of people actually use it to purchase online, and then if you don't have it on, people are just going to use their cards. However, in EU, they actually, like, most people are actually actively only buying with PayPal, so you need it here, unfortunately, again. But there are ways around it, so it's not a D tier. It's still not great to use as a dropshipper, especially, so it's a C tier. All right. Word of mouth. All right, next S tier. Most businesses die, especially dropshipping businesses, because of bad word of mouth. So this is very important to understand. Word of mouth is probably the most important thing that grows a business after a lot of time, because it's not only working for you exceptionally well if you do a good job, if your customer journey is good, but it's working exceptionally well against you too if you do a bad job. And you will realize this when your ads, your costs of acquiring new customers triple or quadruple in a couple days or like a couple weeks, because people are actively sending this to their friends and saying not to buy there or that kind of stuff. So negative word of mouth is even stronger than positive word of mouth. And as a dropshipper, very likely you're going to rely on first-time customers. And so if you want to move to being a brand, then definitely focus on product development, on customer success, on actually having good customer support and all that kind of stuff, fast shipping times, so that you are able to have positive word of mouth in your business, which is then, I promise you, going to be the biggest lever in the long run, because this is probably the biggest compounding thing. Your name will always be the highest compounding asset that you have. Always remember this. All right. Next thing is a cold friendly offer. I have too many S tiers today, and a cold friendly offer is just so powerful because it's able to convert exactly these unaware audiences that we talked about before. And what this is going to allow you to have is to have higher conversion rates, to have higher average order value, and to ultimately have extremely high revenue per visitors. So this is very powerful. I highly suggest you read into the topic, you start learning about how to build cold friendly offers. You need to have basically the value equation in mind, which is dream outcome times perceived likelihood of achievement divided by time delay times effort and sacrifice. Always have that in mind, and then enhance your offer structures with bonuses, guarantees, scarcity, and urgency. Just to that quickly, I have whole videos on my channel covering how to build these offers, but it's a very deep topic, so I'm not going to get too deep into that. But it's an S tier because it's one of the biggest levers when you start a new brand or new store, to actually be the most expensive one in the market, and to pull that off and to make more and to be able to basically spend more on ads on new customers and to easily outscale everyone else very quickly. All right, next thing is building a team. So I'm gonna put this in A tier. Why? Because it's so good, because obviously, yes, you're not gonna be able to it's such a powerful good thing, because in the beginning, like, obviously, it doesn't matter how good you are, like, you can maybe outwork 15 people, but you cannot outwork 1,500, right? So a team is the biggest leverage, the biggest lever at some point as well. And you need to hire people, you need to work together with people, you need to actually hire talent that wants to grow for you, with you. And so that this is, after some point, after a specific point, going to be very, very interesting and good. However, I put this in A tier because a lot of people do this wrong, and a lot of people start doing this too early. So you don't need any employees if you're under 100K per month. That's just going to, like, basically put out money out of your pockets. You don't need any. So what you need instead, if you are below that range, is actually to have to do that on your own, to be a generalist, to be as good as possible in every single category and every single skill, and then later on start outsourcing. And I think a lot of people are doing it wrong. A lot of people are hiring for every single position, multiple people. I think if you hire generalists in the beginning, it's going to be a much higher return in the long run. And so this is really important as well. Now, when it comes to hiring, Fiverr is a very bad choice, because I've made very bad experiences with hiring people from Fiverr. Usually it's some types of VAs that you can hire on Fiverr, and you don't want to do that, because VAs just leave you when someone else offers them 10 cents more per hour. So that's not really an employee, a long-term like actual employee that wants to stay in your business. VA is always going to just be like a half, basically a half employee, is never going to actually put in extra work and extra efforts, doesn't want to grow with you, doesn't give a shit about you. But instead, what you should do is hire from places like LinkedIn, where you can hire true talent. So I'm going to put this next to the hiring people, building a team, which is the A tier here. It's always going to be the better choice to hire talent and to have a talent acquisition funnel, so that you can actually start hopping on interviews and actually building an in-house marketing team, instead of just hiring some bullshit VAs or working with agencies for the rest of your life, which is super volatile. And your business, basically, if that agency cuts the contract with you, can just do like this and your brand goes down to zero. You don't want to do that. All right. Next thing, which is almost the last thing, but it is watching and consuming content, actually. And I'm going to put this, unfortunately, in the D tier, because it's not productive. What you're doing right now, unfortunately, is not productive for you at all. And I want you to understand that. I want you to really believe me there, because like a lot of people really, when I've watched some of these tier list videos from ecom YouTubers before, and what I've realized is a lot of people put this in like B tier, C tier, to kind of say, oh yeah, so if you watch some of the right ones, like maybe me, for example, like that's going to be productive. No, it's not. I'm going to tell you very honestly, watching my videos is not productive. And you might do with that information what you want, but it's not productive, and you will not make more money if you just keep consuming content. I'm not trying to hate on myself only. Whatever content, it's not going to be productive. It feels super productive, I know it does, but you're not actually learning in the practical world what you should be doing all day long with every single second of your time. You should stop consuming content right now. So this is your stop. This is your stop sign. All right, but still subscribe. Come on. And then the last topic is AliExpress, and then more specifically, fulfilling orders with AliExpress. So this is a C tier, because when you test products, it's a very good way to do it. But later on, I would just move on to private suppliers, to private agents who are actually middlemen between you and the manufacturers. And so you can kind of get better prices, faster shipping, build a relationship with them. And with AliExpress, you're still going to be wondering if the product even arrives. You're going to get a bunch of problems with PayPal, which is next to it here, and also Shopify payments, all that kind of stuff. It's just not worth it to mess around with it too much. When I test a product and I, give myself a little bit more time to actually reach the point of like having 10 to 20 sales a day, then it's a very good way to fulfill your orders and to kind of do it. However, it's nothing long term. Just keep that in mind. All right, guys, that was it for this video. I hope you have enjoyed it. I have enjoyed it. I have a lot of fun making this list. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for giving me your time and your attention. And I wish you a fantastic day.